In our Torah last week when we read about Noah, it says that Noah was an ish tzaddik b'dorotav, that he was a righteous person in his generation. And that's why God chose Noah to be saved from the flood, because he was a righteous person in his generation. But then when it comes to Avram, when it comes to Abraham, we don't have any such adjectives. God just chooses Abraham. Essentially, God drafts Abraham. Now, our rabbis come to teach, why does the Torah, when it references Ish Tzaddik B'dorotav, when it references Noah, does it say a righteous person in his generation? Ultimately, it's because we come to learn that Noah was righteous as compared to the other people in his generation. But as compared to the greats of all time, Noah didn't quite measure up. However, when God was looking for the patriarch of the Jewish people, God found a person who needed no celebration. God found a person who needed no praise for righteous deeds. God found a man who simply knew what was right and who went out and did it. And that's why God chose Abraham to be the patriarch of our people. I have a feeling when Mr. Bill Berman was born, God said, "Here comes another Abraham." Mr. Berman, as we all know, is a true tzaddik, a righteous person not just in this generation, but in any generation. And so as we continue now to celebrate the man who is the honorary president of Congregation Shaarey Zedek, we continue the tradition of learning from him each and every year as we anticipate his special birthday. And so now, as Mr. Berman prepares to celebrate 99 years of blessing us, it's my pleasure to welcome to his bima, Mr. Bill Berman. So I talked about Tzaddikim, and Mr. Berman just said, tell them they can't clap in shul. And he's right, by the way. So today we don't clap for Mr. Berman. We say to him, Yasher Koach. Thank you for a lifetime of service to our community, our country, our congregation, our people.
Good morning. When I came to shul this morning with my wife, whom I thank for being here, and so many of my friends who were thoughtful enough to come, even my periodontist from Ann Arbor is here today. I say that because being 99, and in a moment I'll talk about my 99th birthday, which is what, a day or two from now, and all the connections that I have with this synagogue, which has been part of my life since the beginning of my life. But I want to thank those people who are here. They know who they are, certainly my wife as well, for coming and being part of this service, which is more than just a celebration of Bill Berman's 99th birthday. This is Veterans Day. And I'm very proud that I was a naval officer for 4 years. I landed in Okinawa with the 1st Marine Division on day 1, and feel very lucky that I was able to come home and today be with you all. A very special day, of course, for me. I've been given a certain limited amount of time, and I don't have a watch, but I will be very careful, Rabbi. No, please. This synagogue and the synagogues that preceded it are such a part of my life. I remember, I doubt that there are anybody else alive who remembers crawling around the Berman at Brush, on Brush Street, which is now the cancer center, Prentice Cancer Center, crawling around the Berman there and looking up at the balcony when my sisters were in Sunday school. Sunday school was in the balcony in those days of that building, which we left in 1923. I remember being bat mitzvah in a frame building at 12th and Claremont above a hand laundry. And I remember Rabbi Hirschman walking to services with my father and my grandfather, who at that time was the oldest living member of Shaarey Zedek. I remember when I was off to war and my dad got up from Shiva for my grandfather to see me off in San Diego. It was my grandfather's Shiva period. These memories of Willis and Brush, and of course later Chicago and Lawton, where I was the president, of course, of the junior congregation. And that morning we would get 130 or 40 young people would come to services. There was a kind of life there that I will say gradually we are bringing back to this building. I remember, and I guess this is kind of a remembering day for Bill Berman, at 99 I guess I can do that. I remember all of the dreaming and hope that went into the building of this building. As you know, I was its building chairman. The problem we had was zoning. After all, they had one Jewish institution here in Southfield, Ira Kaufman. Was it okay to have one more? I made that argument very strongly. And even then, they didn't zone the whole site. We just got the building zoned itself, the site on which we sit. Things have changed since then, but those were the earlier days. And we were able then to bring into life this building. You've heard me say many times before, it's the largest Jewish religious structure in the world. When we open the doors, we see 3,600. It's so big that we have to transcribe sound an eighth of a second later in the corners. Should we be proud of a building this big? I don't think so. But we should be proud of what goes on in this building. What kind of religious life we have. Not just prayer, of course prayer, but also learning, also meeting together to listen to programs that can enrich our lives Jewishly. That's what a building like this is for. Prayer, of course, but learning as well. Making us feel that we can add something to our lives every time we walk into this building. And the blessing I feel for the people, for the rabbi, of course, our associate rabbi, how lucky we are to have them. But beyond that, the people that work in this building. In previous buildings, we closed the doors at 5 o'clock. In this building, the doors are opened so we can begin to study together. And those doors are open, And I'm delighted that my name is attached to the Berman Educational Center next door. I'm extremely proud of that. That enables us to turn this building from something where we pray, forgive me, where we pray, but a building where we live Jewishly. And I think that's what Shaarey Zedek, this Shaarey Zedek, has become. I think we owe a debt of gratitude to our rabbinical leadership and to all of those who were involved in that process. I think all of us, and it's great to see so many here today, not just my friends who sit down in this corner on Shabbos and who are brave enough to listen to me sing. That is not necessarily one of my high points at the age of 99, but it does add some reason for levity, and that happens on the typical Shabbat. I guess what I'm saying is, you can tell from the way I speak that, I'll tell you a story. When my mother died, I was saying Kaddish for her, and sitting with Rabbi Adler, and we looked in the front of the shul, and the older gentlemen were all talking to each other and bundling up their clothes, and to me it didn't sound very religious. And I turned to Rabbi Adler and said, you know, I'm a little uncomfortable with these older gentlemen not really making this a holy place. And the rabbi turned to me and said, Bill, you don't understand. For them, this is their home. This is their home. I think I understood that, and now you hear me saying that for many of us, thank God, this building and the people who work here are making this a spiritual home. And how lucky we all are to be part of that changing Jewish world, which takes place under this roof, every bit of it, which I have memories of crawling up there even. But I stand here now, grateful at the age of 99 to be part of what this synagogue has been and is becoming. The quality of life, Jewish life, that we're now able to lead here. I stand here with pride and with gratitude. We are a lucky synagogue for all of the things that bless us. Not just this building, and I have been, of course, I was chairman of the building committee of this building, but the previous buildings, each one of them was a part of my life as I grew up. But when I stand here, I feel like this building deserves to be my spiritual home. I thank our rabbinical leadership, of course, for their role in all of this. And at 99, and it's hard to believe I'm 99, I thank so many of my friends who've come to join me in this celebration. I guess a conclusion for me ought to be, thanks all my friends for being here. And on this special day, for me. I want to thank them and thank all of you for, in one way or another, being part of my life. I'm immensely grateful.
Before you run, and I know you could run.
I can chase you, right?
He could chase me, is what he just said. Here, well, I'll have you turn around for 1 second. Among the greatest pleasures of being a rabbi at Congregation Shaarey Zedek is the opportunity to spend extra time with Menachem Mandell, with Mr. Berman himself. And while I have the humbling honor of offering you a blessing in just a moment, I want to thank you on behalf of our entire congregation and community for blessing us with your wisdom, with your humor, with your compassion, and with your dedication. You see, Mr. Berman could have made lots of choices with his life. God has blessed you and your family in so many ways. But Mr. Berman chose to dedicate his life and his leadership and his philanthropy to the Jewish people in general and to this congregation in particular. In that way, not just with your words, sir, but with the work of your hands and your feet, you continue to lead us and to teach us what is right, to put our family first, to put our people first, to put our community first, to put this congregation first. Thank you for leading us in that way. Thank you for blessing us with all that you do, with all that you are. And sir, it is an honor to be able to offer you this blessing in celebration of your 99th birthday. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov Ve'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel V'Leah. May God, who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless Mr. Bill Berman as he celebrates 99 years of making this world a better place, of caring for Jews who are in need wherever they are, of strengthening the Jewish people here in Metro Detroit, and of leading Congregation Shaarey Zedek. May God continue to bless you, Mrs. Berman, and your incredible family with the blessings of health, of joy, of peace, of continued strength, that we may continue to be inspired by you in all that you do. May you know, sir, that you are not only loved by this community and this congregation, you are honored, respected, and revered. And we'll wish you a Yom Huledet Sameach, a happy birthday, Ad 120 until 120, filled each day with only good things. And let us say together, Amen. And now I'd just like to invite the Chazan to join me as we offer you this ancient blessing of our people for all the blessings you've showered upon us. May God bless you and keep you always. May God's light shine upon this tzaddik, and may the light reflect back upon all of us like the light from the stained glass each and every day. May God always be with you, Mr. Berman, and your beautiful family. And may you know that all of us feel the blessings of peace because of you and your leadership. May God grant you the peace of knowing that you, sir, have made a true difference in this world and for our people. And let us say together, Amen. Happy birthday.
Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach.